We are recording.
We're recording.
We are. So, hi guys.
Hi.
First of all, I got a new program. So if you can hear Ruby better than last episode, type 1 in the comments.
Press 1 if you can hear me better. Press 2 if you don't want to hear me at all. Press 3.
For what? What's 3?
For fun. I don't fucking know.
Press 4 if we should stop this podcast.
Everyone just press 4.
Honestly. Michelle, I know you're gonna do it. I know you're gonna do it, Michelle. Don't do it.
Michelle, I swear to God.
I swear to God, Michelle. I will block you on Instagram.
Nicole, I see you.
Nicole, we see you. Nicole. Which, by the way, let me just say, in the first episode, I said I didn't watch your stuff, but I knew who you were. Wednesday night, I found down a rabbit hole on your channel. Girl, you're hilarious and adorable, and your style is amazing. I love that red jacket.
Oh my God, her fashion.
That red jacket, though, it's amazing. I love it so much. I want it. But yeah, alright. Enough fangirling for right now. Well, honestly, not really. Because we just have to say, like, a tremendous thank you.
Yeah, real quick, we should introduce ourselves again for new people.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Ruby. I write fanfiction.
And I'm Gina, and I also write fanfiction.
And we want to give a small thank you to you guys, all of our 10 subscribers currently.
Yeah, and
we love you.
We do. And anybody who even listened to us even for 5 minutes, like, we got 70 views. I didn't even think we were gonna break, like, 5.
Yeah. So this has been off to a
great start.
Tremendously, shockingly
Revelationally good start.
Revelationally.
It's a word, sure. Let's go with that. Revelationally. So yeah, we just want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed, thank you to everybody who watched. If you could even deal with our voices for like 5 minutes, thank you. Because let me tell you, editing this podcast was a time, y'all. It was a time. I cannot listen to myself talk for 10 minutes. So how all of you listen to us talk for over an hour, it's beyond me.
And how all of you are now going to listen to us talk for another over an hour while reading you really shitty fan fiction. Mm-hmm. You know, you deserve
You're a trooper.
A medal. You're a trooper, and we fucking love you.
Give him a fucking medal.
Give him a round of applause, guys. Let's get up in there. Alright. Let's actually start this.
Okay. So, now that we got our love out of the way, I have one more thing to add to the love, and then we're gonna get into something that happened this past week that, it got us heated. Someone's about to be exposed. So, what we're gonna do here, usually after we do our little intro or whatever, if we've read any fics, like we did kind of at the end of the last podcast, we want to do fic recommendations at the beginning of this podcast. So, I didn't have any before we started recording, but then, I believe it was yesterday, my amazing, awesome friend Chloe, and I know she's subscribed and she's listening, so hey boo hey, she wrote an absolutely fantastic one-shot on AO3 with Diego from the Umbrella Academy and Matt Murdock from Daredevil. Y'all,
Dream team.
It is so cute. Vigilante boyfriends being in love. It is so pure, but basically Matt gets hurt when they're doing a thing and the academy is too far and everybody else who could do it is like out and it's in a weird angle for him to do it himself, so Diego has to give him stitches and cuteness ensues. Guys, please read it. I will put the link in the description. You will not regret it. She told me she's getting a lot of comments being like, this is the ship I never knew I needed and now I want more. Like, oh my gosh, it's so precious. Alright. Now on to something that got us real heated.
Well, okay. So, I'll introduce the world.
Explain the situation.
This mess. So, I think it was God, when did this happen?
I don't know. It was a little bit, it was a few days after you posted it, I know that.
It was the day after.
Was it? Let's just say last week.
Okay, last week. I got a request for a Klaus Hargreaves X reader smut that was, a little heated.
It was me.
Was that really you?
Yeah. Remember I sent you the 2 requests, and then that was one of them, and then you got another one with, the same thing, so you just put them together?
That's right. It was 2 people requested that, and one of them was anonymous, and one of them was Gina here. Anyways, it involved, femdom a little bit. Pegging. Fuck it, I'll say it.
Say it. It's fine.
Fine. I posted it, and the next morning I woke up, and there was a comment on it, and I was like, oh, a comment. I love feedback.
Yeah.
And I look, and it says, quote, we're not going to say the page, the blog that started this. Just out of respect.
And also, we don't want to give them attention, but we're still going to read word for word what they said.
We don't want to give them attention, but yeah, we're giving them attention.
But we're kind of giving them attention, because if you go in the notes of her post, you'll be able to find it.
They said, quote, dude, this is graphic content. You need to mark this NSFW and put it below a cut. Meh face. So, I originally wasn't going to say anything. I told Gina what this person said, and originally I was just going to leave it, and then Gina went,
Listen, y'all can call me Clark motherfucking Griffin because I fight for my people. Actually, please don't. I don't like Clark.
Shit.
I don't! Listen, I might not like Clark, but I'm not blind, okay? I'm not blind to her and Bellamy's chemistry. Anyway. And I wasn't even rude. I was just making a simple joke. So I said, dude, you're in the Klaus tag, because that's where I assume they found it, naturally, because it was a Klaus smut. Which means you'll see all Klaus posts, including fanfic, which includes smut. Not everyone posts below the cut, which is true. I don't always see fanfic that is smut below the cut, unless it's, extra, extra long. And she's never posted below the cut, ever, and she's never had this issue.
Dude, this was listed under the main tag for the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, and I said, she clearly says it in the title, and so if you don't want it, you can scroll past it. So then they said it was listed in the main tag, which, honestly, isn't even much of an argument, because Klaus has to do with the show, and so she has a right to put it in the general Umbrella Academy tag. So then I said, because it has to do with the Umbrella Academy, most fics also show up there. My point still stands, because it does. Saying which tag you found it in doesn't kill the argument that she marked her stuff properly.
Yeah, long story short, it got a little, confrontational for a second, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
And so I made the last comment, and I said, look, man, the site is a place for everyone. That includes people like my friend and I, who enjoy writing and reading this content of this nature. Tumblr is and is meant to be a safe haven, and that does not apply to a specific few. I have voiced my opinion of the cuts already. Long story short, you don't have to read it if you don't want to.
Yeah, so I got kind of heated. I wasn't rude or anything. They tried to accuse me of being rude, which I wasn't at all. I would like to think I was being civil. The first one was just a jab at them saying dude, but it wasn't douchey, you know what I mean? But, so she marks, if you guys don't follow her, first of all, what are you doing? Do it. Second of all, we'll plug later. Second of all, she marks smut in her title. So right there, you should assume what it is. However, if that's not enough, she puts warnings and she says NSFW, sex, and then all the other things that apply to it. This person had 2 warnings to scroll past it, and yet they still chose to come and comment. And it ticked me off, and then they rude, and then it pissed me off. So I was like, I gotta fight from a girl.
Which I appreciate you standing up for me, but I think in terms, especially we're probably going to get a little more of that now with this podcast and it being on YouTube, which...
Oh yeah, no, I'm just not gonna reply to the toxic comments when they start to roll in. I'm just gonna ignore them.
Yeah.
And not fight, but in that situation, I felt like it was alright.
Mm-hmm. Listen, if you don't want it...
Scroll past it.
Read it. There are things I don't want to read, so
exactly.
I don't read them.
Exactly.
The world isn't made for you.
Mm-mm.
Have a nice day. And we wanted to talk about this because, listen, our picks for today...
Mine is mediocre. Hers is gross.
Nasty boy.
It's very gross. Like, you might want to cover your sweet virgin ears for this.
It's grosser than Ceramit.
Yeah, it is grosser than Jenna Marbles' dog, Ceramit.
Ceramit.
Being a nasty boy.
Nasty boy. Okay. I don't know why I brought Jenna Marbles in this.
You're fine, because we always... Another disclaimer that we didn't say last week, like we said lots of references, we talk in Jenna Marbles quotes a lot. So our girl gonna get mentioned, because we love our girl. So. Listen, bitch.
So, we just wanted to talk about if you don't like not safe for work things, if that's not your deal, that's not your gig. We don't want to out you. We don't want to tell you that you're wrong.
No.
Just, you don't have to be here. Not that we don't want
you here, but the thing is, like, not all of them are going to be, like, smutty and, like, gross. And this one is very gross. Like, it was, like, gross to us. And if you know the shit we write, you know the shit we've seen, like,
yeah,
it was just really bad. So if that's not your cup of tea, and you're not even, like, in the, which, honestly, I know after I say this, everybody's gonna stay anyway. If you're not the slightest bit interested, please, click out after I do my recap, where there's, like, basically no smut. Like, it's mentioned, but it's not, like, in-depth like hers is. So we'll leave a little thank you after that, and if you want to leave, you will have a few seconds to leave before we get into her section, because it's gonna be a wild ride, y'all!
It's gonna be a wild ride. You wanna stick with it, or you wanna pussy out? I'm kidding, you're not a pussy.
No, you're not. You're not. Cause we almost pussied out of reading this. We had, like, this 2 chapters left, and we were, like, about to vomit.
It's bad.
It is. So... Why are you sending me Devin posts on Instagram now?
Because
I'm sorry, I got the notification. I'm sorry. Anyway.
It might be something you would be interested in. I'm sorry.
I mean, it probably will be, but, like, anyway.
I didn't think you were going to draw attention to it.
I wouldn't have, but my tablet made it pop up, so that's how I know you sent it right now. Anyway, so you guys know what she does while we record.
Listen. I can multitask.
Can you, though, babe?
Yes, it's literally
when Devin is looking pretty.
Listen.
This episode is about Devin. You know what? I'm leaving this in. This episode is about Devin. People can know you were looking at Devin's Instagram. It's fine.
That's true. This episode is. Well, it's not about Devin. I don't want to connotate Devin with the story I'm about to read.
No. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Because it's gross. And we don't want to put Devin in that position. I'm just saying in general, because as you know, we told you last episode, this one is about our boy. Our special boy.
Special boy.
A special boy. A good boy. A punk
soft boy.
Nerdy boy.
Rock and roll boy.
Diaper boy.
Oh!
You'll get why I said that in a minute.
Well, they know.
No, I know, but I mean, like, why I specifically chose to say that, you'll understand why in a minute, not just because it's Rodrick, but for another reason I said it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you'll get it in a second, I promise. But yeah, so, this episode is about our boy, our eyeliner-wearing boy, a sexual awakening boy.
Yes.
Rodrick Heffley. So... But...
Alright, are you ready?
We wanted to take a minute after this hate that just happened, the exposing and the tea, go back to love, and just talk a bit about what our favorite Diver Wimpy Kid movie is, because we have the same one.
Okay.
So,
sorry.
Do you want to do it together?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Rodrick rules.
God, we suck.
We really do. We were almost on sync last episode, and that one was even worse.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, our favorite is Rodrick Rules. I mean, for obvious reasons. It has the most Devin Bostic in it. Oh. No, it was my favorite book out of the series as a kid, and it's the only one I saw in theaters. It was a time. It was so fun. I need to rewatch it, to be quite honest. As if I haven't rewatched it enough already, but it's fine. You can never have enough Devin Bostic wearing eyeliner, you feel?
Never.
No, we need him in eyeliner again.
Was he an eyeliner during Okja?
No.
Damn it. I don't know why, but I have it in my head that he did.
Probably because Silver would be the type to wear eyeliner.
Yeah, of course he would.
But
to, like, an occasion.
like a fancy animal event.
Fancy animal
Fancy
event?
animal saving event. You know what I mean. Like foundation event.
Oh, like a charity
Yeah,
dinner
like a
for
fancy
something?
animal charity dinner or something.
There is someone that has a Instagram that's it's called like I Am Silver Official or whatever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And they are basically just being Silver and posting pictures of like pigs and animals and pictures of Devin, like pretending to be the character Silver, and they're actually kind of good at it. That I'm annoyed with the character as a person. You pretentious fuck.
She loves Silver because it's Devin, but we discussed after Okja came out, if we knew Silver in real life, we'd punch him in the face.
Oh, I'd hate him. I would hate him. He doesn't want to eat a tomato because
Of greenhouse gases.
this bitch.
This bleach blonde bitch.
Oh, he's not blonde, he's silver. Blonde is his boyfriend. Who I just feel bad for because just has to baby him all the time.
True. Poor blonde. Hashtag save blonde, y'all.
Like, they're so cute and
Yeah.
I want to like Silver because of blonde, but like I
You
can't.
can't. I like him because of Devin.
Yeah.
But if he was played by anybody else, I wouldn't have watched the movie, but...
I probably would have. I like it.
I mean, it wasn't a bad movie at all, but, like, I watched it for Devin.
Oh, it's a wonderful movie.
It
Bong
is.
Joon-ho is a god.
I'm just... You get what I'm saying. I watched it for Devin.
Yeah, I know you
Because I usually, like, I'm not, like, really big into, like, the, like, oh my god, you have to see this movie, the cinematography, oh.
Yeah, we've had those conversations where I'll freak over something and you're like, yeah, sure.
She's the film nerd, I'm not.
I am a film
She's precious.
buff bitch. Oh, hey.
So...
Thank you. So, okay, are you ready?
I am ready. They know why Rodrick Rose is our favorite. I think it's safe to move on. So, basically, what we're gonna do, we're not gonna do it every episode, but this particular episode, both of our fics are very short. So, we're gonna read the first chapter and the last chapter and just summarize the rest of it. Most of the other times, we're just gonna be reading the first chapter. But this time, it was like, well, they're really short.
Long.
Yeah, so I summarized it to try to seem long, but it's, like, all the chapters on Wattpad are, like, a 4-minute read time. So,
Yeah.
what else could I do?
Too long to read all of them, like all the chapters.
Yeah,
like,
but-
the whole thing at once, but too short,
Short
to
to not read something else.
Yeah.
So, just a little intro to mine. It's called He Plays the Drums, and X Rodrick Heffley.
I've read this one.
Oh, you have?
I have read this one.
So you kind of know things about it then.
I do, yeah.
Damn.
It's old.
Yeah, I know, but you know what? It's the #1 on the Diary of a Wimpy Kid tags. Oh, good for them. They got 34.3k reads.
Well, damn, girl.
I know, like, work
Good
it.
for you.
Yeah, so that's the little background. Also, we're not going to be saying the authors' names here because we don't want to specifically comfort anyone. We're just here to read the stories. We don't need you to look them up and send hate because we said it in the first episode, but that's not what we want to do.
If you want to go and read the full thing for your own experience,
You can.
do it. I encourage it.
I
Just
mean, I don't encourage it with hers.
Oh, no. Don't.
All right, chapter 1. Katerina, get your ass down here now. Her mother yelled up
I'm
to
sorry.
Yes.
Pause.
Pause. Okay.
Katerina.
Mm-hmm. Katrina, I can't read. No, okay, you know why? No, you know why?
No, you say Katerina. You have to keep going with Katerina.
Okay. Yeah, one thing you'll learn through this is that neither of us can fucking read.
Katerina.
You know why I said Katerina? Because I actually knew someone.
I'm dating my
I knew someone named Katerina. That was her name. That's how you spelled it. And I'm an idiot. And also because, like, he gives her cat-related nicknames, so I just have cat stuck in my brain. So that's why I think I said Katerina. Anyway, alright, her name is Katerina now. It's not Katrina. Katerina, get your ass down here now! Her mother yelled up to the rebellious daughter, who was pretty occupied trying to smear more black makeup over her eyelids. Give me a sec! She yelled back. Another thing, we're not going to be putting on our A+ acting for this.
No.
It's not going to happen.
It
So,
doesn't deserve it.
no. She yelled back, throwing her compact into her desk and grabbing her leather bag. She fixed her whimsical hair in the mirror before pause. What is whimsical hair? Did you just step out of a shampoo commercial?
Like, it's flowing and probably blonde.
I don't remember if they say she's blonde or not. I don't think she is.
This sounds like that stereotypical, those TikToks where it's like, I put up my naturally green locks.
Yes! The ones that are making fun of this.
The ones that are making fun of those. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, it is, to the core. I had to take a break after chapter 5. And keep in mind, because I'm reading chapter 1 and 13, I didn't read those, so only like 3 chapters and I had to take a break.
Oh my god, I feel you.
Before trotting down the steps to meet the wrath of her mother once again. It was a Monday morning and Kat disliked, because she just refers to her as Kat most of the time. So it's like, that's why I read Kat, or anyway, you get it. Kat disliked the busy atmosphere around her. School did start in 15 minutes. Remember, you have to take the neighbor boy to school. His brother won't take him anymore. I mean, honestly, that's probably true if it's Rodrick. Her mom reminded Kat while tossing her an apple. Greg, right? She asked for confirmation and grabbing her leather jacket. Yes, now go have fun at your new school, she said as Kat's feet carried her out the garage door to her shitty one-doored car.
One-doored car?
One-doored car. What happened to the other 3 doors, bitch?
Is it a Jeep?
Maybe.
Is it like a 2-door and then one of them just doesn't work?
Maybe. They don't go that far in depth.
One car.
We can picture a shitty Jeep.
Shitty Jeep? Alright.
Shitty Jeep. She kicked the tires before practically throwing herself into the car. Rock music immediately blasted the speakers. Shit, bitch broke the speakers of her shitty Jeep. When the key turned and her tires skidded as she pulled out. But her car went straight back into Greg's driveway, where the scared boy walked slowly up to the car. Kat? He asked with a small smile. Hey kid, climb on in, she said back, unlocking the doors manually. Oh, so now she has more than one door.
Yeah, this is character development at its finest.
It's character development. That car earned its doors. It went through such an emotional journey. Thanks for taking me. He pushed his bag back down to his feet. My brother Rodrick refuses to let me even touch his van. Sounds like a real douchebag. Which, by the way, they made douchebag 2 words. I'm not gonna, point the grammatical stuff out every time, but I just felt the need to do it that time.
Yeah, I feel ya.
Kat said, accelerating to get out of the neighborhood. Yeah, he can be like that sometimes, Greg responded back with a small laugh. The kid was only a freshman, and his brother is senior. Same grade as Kat. Well, I'm really good at pranking. Hit me up if you feel like karma would be well-deserved, Kat said with a laugh which they never do. They never prank him. You think if they brought...
Oh my god, spoilers.
I know, spoilers, I'm sorry. You think that if she brought that up, that they would prank Rodrick, but they never do. Unless it's later in this chapter, and I just don't remember, because it blended together, guys. It's like when you binge watch a show, and then you remember events, but you can't remember the exact episode they happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kat said with a laugh as they finally reached the school. The ride was only 4 minutes. Oh, just like the read time of the story. And it wasn't as terrible as Kat thought it would be. She pulled her piece of scrap metal on wheels into an open spot, and that's when she heard the screeching of the loaded diaper van. Her leather bag got tossed over her shoulder. She quickly turned her head to see where the loud noise was coming from. And there he is, Greg said, shaking his head before running along to meet up with another kid, which their age gap isn't 3 years. It's like 5 years, isn't it?
I think it's 4.
Is it 4? Well,
yeah.
Yeah, because Rodrick was a sophomore in the first one. He was
in 6th grade in the first one.
Yeah.
Rodrick is a sophomore.
Okay.
So that's...
You guys can do the math for us, because we suck at math.
There's someone else who already knows and is yelling at us
It's true. Now. Listen, we're fake fans. We can't do math. I'm sorry. Continuing on. A tall boy with dark, ragged hair jumped out from the side of the van. Kat was staring until she realized how wrong it was. Which she didn't, because, spoilers, she gonna do it again and it's creepier next time. Until she realized how wrong it was and walked along, but she couldn't help but wonder what his deal was, and what was with the huge van. First hour, English 12, AC. Kat located Mrs. Knox's class and found the perfect seat in the back corner of the class. Her apple core was placed firmly on the wooden desk and her leather bag draped over the front half.
Oh, she's so cool.
Right? Oh my god. She's in the back of the class.
Oh my god.
It's not like
look at her eyeliner. It's like so perfect.
I know. It's so emo.
Oh my god, I wish it was her.
Oh my god, I want to go to Hot Topic with her.
Oh my god, can we go to Hot Topic after this?
We should.
I want to get some crackle nail polish.
She's exposing me because I go to Hot Topic like all the time.
So do I.
I just didn't know, because I've never seen you in, like, graphic tees and shit.
I don't like graphic tees to save my life.
That's, like, almost all my wardrobe. Which she knows.
Used to be in middle school.
Listen, I need fandom merch, bitch. That's the only place I can get it. Leave me validation. I need to be validated. But we're not here to talk about my deep, dark psyche, so...
Oh, honey.
Rodrick walked in
I love
just...
you are valid.
Oh... She has to validate me way too much, you guys. I feel so bad.
No, don't feel bad.
This is why I don't like Vanya, because I relate.
Shit.
Not in the parent neglect part, but in the part of apologizing for everything, because I do it.
I relate to that way too much.
Yeah.
This is why we're friends.
True. You find friends with psyches just as messed up as yours. And you cling.
And then
you validate each other.
You validate and help each other along.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what friends are for.
Yep. Rodrick walked in just as the bell started to ring. Kat noticed the glare the teacher gave the boy before he settled in the seat right next to her. Heard you're going to be taking the little twerp to school, he whispered to Kat, twirling a pencil in his fingers. Greg? Yeah, I will be, since you're too incompetent to. She whispered.
The big words on him.
I know, shit. She also used the right form of to in both of these, so I'm surprised about that. I know. She used T-O-O. I know. Big accomplishment. For mediocre fanfic, big accomplishment. She whispered back, rolling her eyes. Whatever, kitty, he said with a rude scoff. Kat couldn't wait to get out of class. She didn't want to see that Rodrick guy again. She went throughout the day trying to focus, but her music was too loud in her one earbud that everything else felt unnecessary. Mood. After school, she leaned up against her lovely trash. Me! I didn't know I was in this story.
Same.
Waiting for Greg. Greg walked out of the front school doors and ran to her. She looked up from the approaching boy to see Rodrick walking to his van. She rolled her eyes and felt disgusted at the sight of him. Hurry up, kid, I got a guitar lesson in 20 minutes, she said, failing at being approachable before climbing into the car through the opened window. Bitch, how the fuck? She definitely has a shitty Jeep.
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck you climb through a window in a Jeep. Those bitches are tall.
She just yeeted right in there. She got on a trampoline and she just
fucking...
Running start. You play guitar? Greg asked, buckling his seatbelt. Yeah, electric bass ukulele. If it has a string and a neck, I can play it. She answered back, applying her cherry chapstick and checking in the mirror to see that same van whip past her. This was going to be a distraction every day, wasn't it? Glad to see you're home from guitar, Kat's mother said, cleaning the dining room. Okay, what's going on? Kat started. This room is usually a don't touch space. Why are you touching it? We're having the Heffleys over for dinner tonight, her father said. The who? Greg, Rodrick, across the street. I like how she says their names and not their parents. Her mother answered back, wiping down the last inch of the table. What the hell? Kat thought to herself before cursing under her breath and bringing her guitar back up to her room. She had learned just a few new chords of her favorite rock song, Seven Nation Army. What else
Oh my God.
would a teenager do on a boring night? Oh, no, wait until you hear what she says to Rodrick. It is so funny. Kat plugged in the electric guitar to her amp and let the notes fly through the speakers. She played her music loud, leaving no sound waves available in her space. She strummed the same 7 notes over and over until it was to her standard. She then... Probably. She then stood up and started head-banging to her own music and adding extra chords for an echo effect. No one wants an echo effect because no one likes echo. Tabby, I know you're listening and I know you're gonna be like, but I like echo. She had no idea how long her jam session might have been before she heard a faint, small call of her name. Katarina, down here now! Her father yelled so loudly as she Why do they yell at her for everything?
I don't know.
They can't, like, bellow. Doesn't sound like it, but I don't know. I wouldn't know. We don't get a good description. Her father yelled so loudly as she quickly unplugged her guitar from the amp and raced to skip steps on the way down. So nice of you to join us, her father said from the kitchen. You really need to keep that... They spelled ratchet. Not racket. They spelled ratchet.
Bitch.
You really need to keep that ratchet down. Call it ratchet one more time, father. I swear to God. she started until her mother cleared her throat and the group of Heffleys all stopped and smiled from the hallway next to her. Katerina?
She just go to threaten her father.
Right? My dad would smack me upside the head.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know who the fuck
I know.
you think
Bitch, do I look like? That's the dad. He's like, bitch, do I look like?
Do I look like?
Katerina, care to introduce yourself to Mr. and Mrs. Heffley? My mother said, giving Kat a glare. Apparently it's her mother, but it's also Kat. Hi, I'm Kat, I said, shaking hands, going through formalities, straight up bullshitting. I mean, that's just a mood. I dig your music. I just heard you playing. You know, our son Rodrick is in a band, Mr. Heffley said, patting the tall boy on the shoulder. He shot his dad a look of complete annoyance before the conversation fell silent. Rodrick kept a dead-eye contact lock with Kat, which she had no idea how to get out of. Kat finally muttered a thanks, but it wasn't heard over her father's loud announcement. Food is ready when you guys are! Okay, so now we get into the summary.
Summarize it for me.
Alright, so let me just open up my notes here. Because I have them on my phone and I didn't open them when I said I was going to. Okay, so they're at dinner and Rodrick is being annoying. What else is new? He's like kicking her foot under the table and she's really bored, but she like can't have her phone out because it's like a family rule. So her mom is like, oh, well, why don't you show Rodrick your music stuff? And he thinks it'll be all cutesy. They aren't cute. And don't ever call me princess, because he called her princess. Then then he's like shook when she's actually good at guitar and he asked her what she plays and she like lists all these bands. She's like, oh, you know, AC/DC, Red Hot Chili Peppers, blah, 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 etc. If it's on a Forever 21 t-shirt, odds are I play their songs.
No.
Who says that?
Also, it's not Forever. I don't remember the last time I saw a Forever 21 shirt with squirrel nut zippers on it.
So then he tells her about Loaded Diaper and she says it's a weird name. But you know what? As mediocre as this is, this line is actually accurate to Rodrick. What he says after she says it's a weird name. I give them credit for this one line. I have to give it where it's due.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are pretty hardcore. Maybe too much for you to handle. I was like, okay.
That's the line?
That's the line. But I mean, is it not Rodrick-y?
I could definitely hear him, like, say it and then like, lean against something and have that thing fall and he looks like a nerd.
Oh, sweetie. Yeah, definitely. But, like, I have to give the credit where it's due and they get that credit in that one line.
Mm-hmm.
So, finding the positives. That was it. So, they're getting to an argument again about him calling her princess. And then he's like, I got a feeling about you. And she's like, what? And he's like, you pretend to be so badass. It's all an act, Kat. Everyone can see it. Rodrick is fucking dumb. Did you not know that?
Yeah.
So then more arguing, and then he suggests she's into her, and she says, in your dreams, diaper boy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I said diaper boy earlier.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And then he's like all creepy. Like this line is like really creepy, and he's like, one day you'll see. Okay, Patrick.
Alright.
And then he calls her Kitty, after that. So it's like, that's what they call each other. He usually calls her Kitty, and she calls him diaper boy.
Cute.
Yeah, real cute. And then just like a complete 180 happens and he has to leave and he's just like, but it was like really nice meeting you and you're like really cool. And she's like, thanks. I guess you seem cool too. Like, what? Yeah, so now it's a week later and they're like kind of friends. They like sneak each other answers on tests or whatever. And her mom asks her if she has plans because it's Saturday, and then she just leaves the room. And so she goes over to their house, and she hears the band play, and she tells him it's not that bad. He asks her to stay for pizza because the rest of the guys can't. And he tells her that they're going to be home alone because his parents are gone and Greg is with Rowley. And she's like, full offense, but what kind of name is Rowley? Which, leave my sweet boy out of this, okay?
Zooey mama.
Leave our sweet Suey mama boy out of this. Rowley Jefferson deserves better than your bullshit, Katerina.
Alright, Katerina.
Alright, bitch. Listen here, kitty. You leave my boy out of this.
Listen here.
He already gets mistreated by Greg. He don't need it from you. They get to his room, and so he's a little shit, and he's, like, moving the pizza box around. And so she threatens to leave, and then he just drops it, and so she sits down and she gets a pizza slice and she like holds one out to him winking. So they just eat the pizza. And then it just skips to the next day at school. So Heather Hills, I repeat that, Heather Hills goes up to Kat and asks her if she's friends with him. And she says yes. And she asks her to give Rodrick her number.
No.
In what world? So Rodrick fanboys over it. And then Kat goes home and she pines over him. Even though, mind you, up to this point, she showed no indication of having any feelings for him before now. And by Thursday, so it was like Monday, I think. And so by Thursday, she changes her look into a preppy one, including like tossing her combat boots into the trash. And mind you...
I'm sorry, combat boots are expensive.
Exactly. Why would you do that? Even the cheap ones are expensive. And second, they've only known each other for 2.5 weeks. Bitch, you gonna be over here acting like this for him, which he's really not worth it. You gonna be over here doing this for him after 2.5 weeks. This is not the 100th time, girl. Your life is pretty mundane, okay? So, like, you're gonna really be out here and try to grease yourself for Rodrick.
Grease yourself.
I just thought that would be, like, a great analogy.
It's good. I like it.
Thanks, babe. So she goes out and she's like in all pink and white and she has like her hair done, her makeup done or whatever. And Greg asks her if she's okay. So then she gets to school and Rodrick tries to get her attention and like get back to her rocker style or whatever. And then they get into like a mini fight. And right after school, he comes over to apologize with 3 different ice cream flavors. And he's confused, like, about why Heather gave him her number in the first place. And she's like, well, because she hates me. And she's like, why would I hate you? And instead of bringing up the birthday party, which would be the logistical reason why she hates him, right? This is what they have him say. I'm in a rock band. I wear eyeliner. I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. That's not what he says, but that's what it felt like. My van literally says loaded diaper in the side. And I don't know. I'm not very smart.
I mean, we've
been new, honey, and he would also never admit that he's an idiot. Never.
No, never.
He has too much pride. And she's like, you somehow managed to guess my favorite ice cream flavors. I'd say you're pretty smart. Bitch, in what world? He got lucky.
I'm sorry.
Ice cream flavors don't make you smart.
No. Also, my favorite ice cream flavor is from Screamery, and it is berry basil, so...
Guess that, bitch.
Find that, motherfucker.
You cute emo-looking ass. So he brings up that she should change back to her look, and so in her head, she's like, oh, I thought you liked this better, and she cringes at the thought, and I'm like, girl, saying that you cringed at yourself doesn't make it less cringy.
No.
And then so she teases him, and she's like, oh, well, if I stay like this, will you like me? And he's like, well, yeah, I'll like you if I have to. Which, like, is so douchey. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. I know it was a joke, but, like, still. Anyway, so it's the next day, and she goes to get back to her regular look, and after driving Greg to school, Rodrick asks her for help in class, which, like, okay, predictable. But this is what he says. He asks her for help because she gets, like, A's on tests, right? I haven't passed a single one higher than an 83. In what world does Rodrick Heffley get a B on a test? Because I don't want to live in that world.
No.
I don't want to live in that world.
I don't live in that world.
I don't live in that world, and I don't wanna.
Hashtag that's not my Rodrick.
No. So, she agrees to tutor him, and he shows up after school, and she's in her room, and her mom is like, oh, Kat, Rodrick is here, and she's like, okay, set him up, I'm finding a book, and, obviously, she falls, and he catches her, and he's like, oh, you're really falling for me, I guess, because he's Rodrick.
Ew.
Yeah, ew. And then, so, he says the book they're reading is confusing, which, listen, I know he ain't the brightest bulb in the bunch, but, like, they're reading The Great Gatsby. I feel like even for Rodrick, that's pretty straightforward.
I mean, I guess it's like old-ish language, but like it's still pretty...
Yeah, it's not like Shakespeare verse.
Yeah.
But so she basically summarizes it for him and asks him questions. He teases her and he basically just tells her why he calls her Kitty, and he's just like, it's my nickname for you. Like, literally, that's it. There's nothing else. It's my nickname for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kisses her. So she pushes him away, and she tells him that was her first kiss, and he asks if she liked it, and she's like, well, it was too short to tell, and then girl cock blocks herself by being like, okay, well, we have to finish this chapter before we kiss again, because he was like, oh, well, we can kiss again, and it can be longer, and, like, you can figure out if you like kissing me or not. And so then, like, after they finish that, they kiss 2 more times, and then it's randomly morning, and he left, like, after she passed out, and her mom wakes her up.
Suddenly.
Yeah, suddenly. And then her mom wakes her up and tells her about a Labor Day cookout they're having, and that she'll invite the Heffleys over, and she's like panicking a little bit about it because she doesn't know how to feel about after last night. And then she talks about, like, she goes on and on for like, I think 2 or 3 sentences about how hot it is, and it's like, she says the temperature, and she says it's 87 degrees. Mm-hmm. Girl, I live in a desert, so like, hearing that, girl, that ain't hot.
That ain't shit.
That ain't shit, bitch.
Got 103.
Exactly.
Easy
Shit.
here.
Yeah. So, like, 87 degrees is nice, if anything. Mm-hmm. And then Rodrick teases her some more from, like, across from the window. And then she thinks, like, tomorrow might not be that bad. So then it's the cookout. And her and Rodrick text, and she has, like, a second thought about liking him. Like, oh, like, what if it's a part of his game? And, like, Rodrick Heffley isn't one to be, like, talking about his feelings or whatever. But then she just, like, laughs it off. So she heads downstairs, and he teases her about, like, a hug. Because I think she hugged Greg or something. And he's like, oh, you're not gonna hug your best friend? She's like, I'm not gonna hug you, bitch. She didn't say that, but, you know, that's how I translated it in my head.
Yeah.
So then he just hugs her, and she says, she's like, his strong arms, and I was like, bitch, where? He's a noodle.
He's a noodle boy.
A long noodle boy.
That's why we like him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not why, but...
I mean...
Okay, that's why you like him, because you're into the tall, lanky boys. And so the parents are talking about, like, musical talents and, like, all their stuff. And then they ask, I don't remember if it was the mom or the dad. They ask one of them what Rodrick does, and they're, like, hesitant. So then Kat comes in, and she says, oh, he has a band, he's, like, a really good drummer, and he's, like, actually shook. Because, okay, they weren't, like, insulting him or anything, but he, like, puts it into the terms. He's like, oh, that's, like, the first time anyone's ever, like, defended me or stood up for me or something like that. And I was like, but you weren't getting insulted? It was,
what chapter are we at now?
We're about to be in chapter 8 in a second.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, literally, I'm almost done with chapter 7. That's how, like, short these are. But like I said, I tried to summarize them to just make them seem long, so... Mm-hmm. So he's shook, and then he asks when, like, they all have to leave. He's like, let me guess, we have to leave at, like, 10:30 or something. And she says, oh, no, like, my parents get, like, really drunk, and you'll probably be able to stay here. And then his parents are also getting drunk, and he says that, which, by the way, all I thought of when he brought up how his mom can't hold liquor, I want to see a drunk Susan Heffley so bad.
I don't. That sounds terrifying.
That would be funny. I just feel like it'd be really funny. So they do that, and then they plan to go up to her room and, like, at, like, 9:30 and, like, make out or something. Just go up and be alone. Mm-hmm. So then they go to her room, and her parents are still getting drunk along with their parents, and Greg and Rowley just left by themselves to go play video games. Then he asks her to play a song for him on guitar, and she plays him I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. And then she tries to deny, like, them kissing, but they end up kissing, like, 5 seconds later anyway, when he's like, well, it meant something to me, but clearly it didn't to you. And then he tells her, like, he wants to take things slow. And then she's like, okay. So it's, like, not really a breakup because they weren't together, but she's like, friends, and he's like, best friends. Ugh, gross. And then he has to leave to get his parents home, and which Rodrick would never do. He'd let them pass out drunk on the lawn.
I mean...
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
And then it's the next morning, and she wakes up to find that her parents and Rodrick's parents rented a cabin for the 4-day weekend coming up while drunk, because apparently her parents, while they're drunk, are big spenders. So then her and Rodrick text back and forth a bit for about it, teasing each other, and she thinks more about her feelings, and she's, like, dreading the weekend, and she sees Greg and Rowley, like, tackle Fregley, like, across the street. And again, I'm like, bitch, where? They would never. And then she sees Rodrick shirtless, and she's like, I don't remember if this is the exact quote, because I didn't take this one down, but she's like, he had abs. I had a feeling he had abs, or something like that. And I'm like, again, I say, bitch, where? Mm-hmm. And then one thing that really bugs me about she always claims in his appearance that he has curly hair. Girl, no, he doesn't. He has, like, curls, like, in the back a little bit, but that's just, like, fluff. It's not curly at all.
No, it's not.
It just really bugged me. So she's watching him creepily, like, throughout her window, even though in the first chapter she's like, oh, staring at him is weird. Mm-hmm. And this is the quote, Kat felt like she was watching one of the Twilight movies again, except this time with a tanner and less weird guy. First of all, Devin is pale as fuck. Second of all, Rodrick is weird. I mean, he's not as pale as me, but...
Yeah, I'm pale, bitch.
Yeah, we pale bitches.
We Irish as fuck. Hey.
Anyway. But yeah, like, he's not that tan. Like, as Rodrick, he's whiter than he is now. You know what I mean? Like, he went on a vacation and he got himself some sun at some point.
He did. It looks good.
Mm-hmm. So then he sees her through the window and he just waves like a little shit. And then he texts her if she likes his abs. And she says, she's like jokingly, she's like, I've seen better. And then this was really creepy. He's like, don't worry, you'll see them up close next weekend.
No.
And so now it's next week. And Greg is saying how fun the weekend will be, and he brings up how him and Rowley, because apparently Rowley's also going, but his family isn't, they're getting to go fishing with his dad on Saturday, which, have you met Greg? He would be complaining about how he has to spend a weekend in a cabin with his crazy family and this other family. He would not be excited about this.
No.
We have that in common. Me and Greg, we complain way too much. Yeah, so they were saying that. And then, so she was so caught up, like, in her thoughts about how the trip will go. She passed the school 4 blocks ago, and Greg doesn't say shit until, like, right at the end of that chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's the weekend, and they pack and everything, and she falls asleep in the car, and they get there, and, you know, they talk a little, and then they find out the room arrangements. And they're actually letting her and Rodrick share a room. Like, there's 2 separate beds, but still, what parents would let their teenage boy and their teenage daughter share a bedroom? Even if they're just friends.
Yeah, that's not
even if they're
thing.
just friends. It's like, if
happen.
it's like a lifelong friendship thing, then okay, but they've only known each other for like 2 months, I think, at this point. Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Like,
even if one of them was gay, they'd be like, nah.
You ain't sharing a room, yeah. And also, Rodrick straight up just admits that he, like, wanted to fuck her that weekend. Like, in front of everyone. Because he's like, I know, like, so basically Greg tells him not to jump on the bed because it makes a lot of noise, which first of all, Greg would never. But second of all, he's like, well, damn, there goes my plans for the weekend. And he, like, I can't remember if he looks at her, but, like, she knows what he's talking about. And she's like, ew.
Yeah, that's creepy,
So,
my guy.
that is really creepy. In front of her parents. Like, everyone is there. He's saying it in front of his parents and her parents and Rowley and Greg. That he wanted to fuck her. Yeah. So then they go inner tubing together. And he says that, like, oh, she looks good in a bikini. And they hit, like, a wave. So she's, like, tenses up. And he, like, tenses up. And he moved his hand from her hand to the, like, her upper thigh. And she's pissed about it, as she has a right to be. And he's like, how many times do you have to say I'm sorry? And she's like, bitch, you didn't say sorry at all. All you said was my bad.
Yeah.
And so they kind of fight about it, but then after a bit of time, they go to cook dinner, and she's laying in a hammock after they get out of the water, and he threatens to flip her off the hammock, but he doesn't do it. She kind of does it herself when she, like, adjusts, and she falls out of it. So then he's laying there, and even though she's pissed at him, she lays in there with him, and she's trying to resist cuddling with him, but he, like, pulls her in, and they just cuddle, and they, like, talk about how they're gonna watch horror movies or whatever. So after that, they, like, get out, and they're in the room, and they're talking about how their dads had, like, a cook-off about, like, what the better burger was, right? And so they're gonna start a horror movie marathon, and then they start with It. I don't know which It. I tried to look at the publishing date, but I couldn't find it, because I just probably didn't look hard enough, but...
I feel like Rodrick would hate horror movies, because it would scare him
He's a little
too much.
bitch. Rodrick tries to be hardcore, but he's a little bitch when it comes to horror movies. But yeah, so he holds her during the jump scares or whatever, and then he, like, pulls her close after the movie ends, so they're, like, face to face, and he kisses her, and she's like, the fuck? He thought that the moment would be right to kiss her, and they get into a misunderstanding about how he wanted to be friends, like, didn't you just want to be friends? And he's like, oh, because that's what I thought you wanted, and she didn't know what she wanted, so now he's confused about it. So then the next morning, he apologizes for last night, and then he, like, drapes his arm around her waist, and she, like, hugs him, and then just slams the bathroom door in his face. And so then they're on the boat again with both of the families, and Susan wants pictures of Greg and Rodrick on the tube together, because, you know, as you do, vacay, you want pictures of your children together doing stuff that they don't want to do. But, of course, they don't listen to Kat's warning about how the waves look really bad, so they get flung off, and Rodrick thinks he, like, broke a bone. He didn't. And Greg just, like, got swept under by a wave, but he didn't hurt anything. So they're fine, and then, again, Rodrick would never, but he offers to go make lunch. And so she says she'll help him, and then they're just like, shit, do you know how to make this? No. Shit, do you know how to make this? No. But then it just cuts. And even though it's almost dinner, in the cut, the moms bring up how good lunch was for some reason, even though it's hours later. So, yeah, so then they go, right? So then they go to plan watching more horror movies, and they're going to watch The Shining that night. And they talk about, like, horror movies and everything. I think he brings up Halloween or something, and then they just go back and forth. And they put the movie in, and he asks her to come lay with him, and she's like, is that a good idea? And he's like, yeah. So she does it, and he like tries to pull her close, and she asks him if he's sure it's a good idea. And this bitch, he goes, I've never been so sure of anything in my life.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So yeah, that was all 12 chapters, and now we gonna read chapter 13.
Oh, the finale.
The finale. The abrupt finale. So they're close, and then this happened. Rodrick pressed his lips to Kat. This time it was different. He had no intentions of going slow like he promised. Rodrick brushed her long hair aside so they could see light from a distant lamp brighten her face. They parted for a mere second, and he could see her beautifully colored eyes up close. What color are they?
Yeah, what color are Katrina's eyes?
That makes me think of the Bo Burnham joke from Repeat Stuff where it's like, I love your eyes and their bluish, brownish, greenish color. I really wanted to just be friends with you, but obviously I can't keep my eyes nor my hands off of you. Rodrick said, my bad. He held on to her tight like she would never be able to do this again and kissed her the sweetest and most passionate he could, which, pause. When I read that, because I like wanted to see how it ended, because I think I got through a few chapters of this fic before I was like, oh yeah, this is the one I'm choosing for this episode. Yeah. I was like, honestly, I feel like Rodrick would be terrible at kissing.
Yeah.
He's got those great lips, but he doesn't know how to use them. Anyway, he wanted to show her how much he cared for her. Kat felt his hands touch every inch of her body, but she was more focused on the fact that he was raising her shirt over her head. Kat was free to touch him as well, more exclusively, his bare chest and abs, which he doesn't have. She was going crazy, but so was he, being this close to her again and kissing her lips again. Rodrick flipped Kat over so he could be on top. Wouldn't happen. And he continued to kiss her lips and down her neck. And then time jump. Of course, you can't actually write smut in this. Kat woke up in the wrong bed. I mean, they're sleeping in the same room, so it doesn't really matter if she's in the wrong bed because she's still in the same room. Wearing only a t-shirt and her underwear, and had a kink in her neck. She sat up quickly to see Rodrick laying next to her, sound asleep with a smirk on his face. How does one sleep with the same face that is used to charm girls? Because it's Rodrick. He probably smirks in his sleep all the time. Kat slowly got up to leave the bed, trying not to make a single sound. She just needed to find the rest of her clothes to get to the bathroom without waking Rodrick. Her foot hit the corner of the bed. Damn it, Kat muttered, trying not to feel the pain. Kat? Rodrick asked quietly, barely opening his eyes. Kat didn't know what to do. She ran to the bathroom and locked the door. She started to laugh to herself, thinking how in the hell all this happened. She put back on her shorts, washed her face with cold water, and walked back out to see Rodrick now fully awake and attentive. Good morning, kitty, he said with a smile, brushing his curly hair that isn't curly back and leaning against his white pillow. I have to specify, what other color is it?
His hair?
No, his pillow. They said his white pillow.
I don't know. There are some pillows that are, like, green.
But they, like, just bought this house, like, this cabin. Like, they actually bought it, so I would just automatically assume that they were white because it's, like, a fancy cabin.
Is it a fancy cabin?
Yeah, it was, like, no, like, they said that it was, like, really big, and it was, like, by a lake, and it had a private jacuzzi.
Private jacuzzi?
Yeah.
Who the fuck has the money?
I know. Even if you're big spenders when you're drunk, who has the money and the time, bitch? Not I.
These people went in debt.
And then they all lived next to each other under a bridge.
Sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
The end.
The end, to be honest.
Perfect.
Really. Morning, she said, barely even opening her eyes. Last night was amazing, he said with an even bigger smile, as Rodrick wouldn't know how to fuck. We even knew.
We've seen the attempts.
We haven't seen actual attempts, because it was a kid's movie, but...
Yeah.
We've gotten the vibes. He said with an even bigger smile, and she saw red form on his cheeks. He was happy. Yeah, he was happy because he did what he wanted to do. He did what he said he was going to do in front of your parents! So creepy. Which is like, even, okay, if he would have just said that, like, it wouldn't have been taken as an innuendo, but the way she wrote Kat taking it, that was an innuendo. Where she knew exactly what he was talking about.
I see.
That's how you know that he was like, oh yeah, I was planning on fucking her, or whatever.
Fucking stupid.
Fucking Patrick ass.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, it really was, Kat said, still in awe of his current state of happiness. She'd never seen him this way. I'm really sorry if it's not what you wanted it to be. Bitch, it wouldn't. He's He started, but Kat immediately cut him off. Don't say that. It was amazing, she said. How about we go downstairs and grab some breakfast? I smell bacon, Rodrick said, springing out of bed and grabbing a random shirt from his bag. Okay, I'll give them that. He wouldn't actually unpack.
No.
Walking down, the two were greeted kindly and were offered a variety of breakfast options, from toast to pancakes to bacon and to fresh fruit. They both sat next to Greg and Rowley, who had blank expressions on their faces. What's up with you guys this morning? Rodrick said, making a disgusting look, taking a huge bite of toast. Didn't get much sleep, that's all, Rowley said. Oh, why? Kat asked, looking at the two boys, who looked completely drained. Well, Rodrick kept jumping on his bed. It's so loud in our room.
Ew.
First of all, Greg in this story is a freshman in high school. He would know what fucking is.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Both and Kat's and. That's what it says. I didn't misread. Roderick's eyes widened in horror at what the boy just said. Kat acted quickly. I tried to get him to stop moving, but he wouldn't listen. She wanted to top.
She wanted to top.
Sorry, guys. Rodrick wouldn't apologize. Rodrick mumbled, shooting Kat a dirty look. When breakfast was over, the group had only a few hours to stay at the large cabin. The next family would be arriving a little after noon. Oh, they better wash those sheets.
Ew.
If they don't, God, I feel bad for that family who sleeps in their room. Oh, God. Rodrick was already packed to leave, being that he didn't move a single piece of clothing from his bag unless he was going to use it. I mean, honestly, same. Kat was a little different story. She had completely unpacked and was rushing around that morning trying to gather it all. Are you sure you don't need help? Rodrick asked as Kat was bagging up her things in the bathroom. She didn't answer him initially, so he got up and made his way to stand directly behind her. Maybe even a little too close. They don't even need personal space at this point. They've had sex.
I mean,
if he's like directly behind her to where he could wrap an arm around her waist, I feel like that's fine at this point.
I mean, if they're okay with it. I mean, if I was in a bad mood and my boyfriend stood a little too close to me, I'd be like, listen.
But she's not. He's just trying to ask her if she needs help.
Right,
she's not in a bad mood. She's just like hurrying to pack up.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say it's a bad mood, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
At this point, like, personal space, what is that? Rodrick, what are you doing? Kat asked, not even looking up to see the reflection of him behind her. Nothing, he said before going to wrap his arms around her waist from behind. Yeah, okay, I didn't even read ahead, but I figured that's what he was gonna do if he was like that close to her, and he wasn't just gonna linger, like, hey, how are you?
Your hair smells nice.
Okay, Patrick. Anytime we say something creepy,
you said that.
I know, but it's like anytime he does something creepy, I just picture Patrick doing it because it's in character for Patrick.
Yeah.
Pats for Patrick.
Pats for Patrick. Pat.
Rodrick loved how easily she fit in his arms and how he knew she would always be safe like this. She just gets stabbed. We are leaving in a minute, guys, Mrs. Heffley yelled up to the two lovebirds. Kat pushed a ton of bottles into a bag and threw it towards her bag outside of the bathroom. I guess we have to go home, Kat said, looking disappointed. Rodrick also had a look of dismay clear on his face. That was one hell of a weekend. I know, look at those vocabulary words. Those third grade vocabulary words, though.
Ooh.
Shit. Somebody call Scrabble.
Somebody call Scrabble.
Because we got a triple word score on our hands.
Words with friends right here.
Hey, baby.
Oh, we're stupid.
We are. I think this episode is going to be way longer than last one. So, I'm going to issue an apology right now. You probably got way longer of this because hers is so much more of a mess than mine. We're going to be stopping even more during hers. I'm sorry. All right.
Okay, are we ready for mine?
Almost. I have a few more lines.
Okay.
I just wanted to put that out there.
Go on.
This was... Oh, okay. Now that we're done fake kissing each other. That was one hell of a weekend. I'm glad I was able to spend it with you, Rodrick said, smiling. Don't get too soft on me, Rodrick. What do you mean? He's literally the biggest softie ever.
Yeah, you pussy.
You fucking pussy.
Don't be a bitch.
Don't be a baby.
Oh my god. Let's not perpetuate the stereotype that men
No, but
hard.
Also, like, no.
I mean...
No, because we love... Oh my god. Tough exterior. Let's say tough exterior. That's fucking amazing. Oh. But it took me a second, and then I was like, wait, why is she laughing? Oh.
They need to be hard for some things. Right?
Oh!
Am I right?
Am I right, ladies? Or boys who are listening to this.
Or other boys who are listening to this who enjoy a little hard.
Who enjoy a little hard. But no, we're not trying to perpetuate that stereotype. I just said no because Rodrick is automatically a softie. Like, we love our sweet, sensitive, emotional, in touch boys. They're the best type of boys. But it's just Rodrick is a softie, so I feel like she shouldn't say that to him.
Yeah.
Kat mumbled with a small smile. He squeezed her tight before she stepped away to gather her bags. Wait, Kat, Rodrick started, but Kat had already started to approach him so that she could kiss him. It was worded weirdly. She held lightly onto his neck. Ooh, is she choking?
Oh.
As he held her sides. Well, it says his, not the back of his neck. It just says his neck.
I mean, I write that sometimes.
Yeah, I know, but, like, you put context to where you can tell. With them, it's like, it could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As he held her sides, which eventually led to him wrapping his arms around her back, the two then separated shortly from the familiar position. Bitch, it ain't that familiar. You've only made out, like, 3 times. What was that for? He asked her with his usual smirk. I like you, diaper boy, Kat said. And I like you, kitty, Rodrick answered. And the end! That was the story!
The end.
Woo! I'm turning my tablet off now because I have 11%.
Oh, shit.
But you know what? It lasted long enough for me to finish that story, so we gonna pour one out for my tablet.
We gotta pour one out for the tablet.
Alright. Go ahead and get into this grossness. I'm ready, babe.
Are you?
I'm ready for this jelly.
Are you? I don't think you're ready for this jelly. I don't think you're ready for these. Alright, so this mess. Get into it.
I'm dreading it.
This is called Rodrick X Reader, Lemon Blackmail BDSM.
Which, this was the story that gave us the idea that we definitely wanted to do this, that I mentioned last week. It's a mess. Also, let it be known for some reason in this story, and I mean, honestly, now looking back on it, it kind of helped lighten up all the bullshit that happens in it. I read Greg's voice, like, with a Shaggy accent from Scooby-Doo. I will not be doing this now because I am not viewing the story. However, I just felt like that was a fun detail to get into your heads while she mentions Greg.
Yeah. We also, discovered that there is a lot of Rodrick X Reader that is written by British people. Mm-hmm. So there's, like, things like they say mum and and in this one I believe that she says the word trousers instead of pants a couple times.
Okay.
So, without further ado, this is a mess. Okay.
Did you mean my life?
Same.
Alright, go ahead, babe. Let's go.
Chapter 1. Hi, I'm Greg. Well, transferring really isn't easy for anyone, I guess. But you see, you don't have any experience with school as it is. Being your homeschooled had its perks, but after your parents divorced, you had to start going to school. Your mom, or mum, had to get a job, and your dad had his own family. You were an only child. Well, that's what everyone. You weren't allowed to talk about your twin brother. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Anyway, a new school. Scary, but somewhat exciting. You wouldn't consider yourself the shy type, although you did have the trouble getting a conversation started with new people. I mean, who doesn't? Am I right?
Am I right? Am I right? Am I fucking right?
Nevertheless, you were beyond desperate to make some new friends at this school. You had expected a uniform, so you were surprisingly and slightly disappointed there wasn't one.
Which why?
But I don't know. Just wear jeans and a t-shirt.
Exactly.
It doesn't have, like, a name, like, what was it? Katarina?
Yeah, Katrina Katarina.
This is your name, so that's what I'm gonna read. Your name! You heard your mum call from downstairs.
Yeah, I told you guys about this. That if we just had a your name, that you would just say your name.
Right.
It's what she does. Don't judge my baby. Let her live her life.
Oh, thank you.
I love you.
I love you. Okay, back to this shit. Come on, you'll be late for school, and you'll make me late for work, too. Sorry, Mom, I'll be down in a minute. What was taking you so long? Since there was no uniform, you had no idea what to wear. You didn't want to stand out, so bright colors were a no-no. Also, you didn't want to be called goth, so not too dark. Also, what's wrong with being called goth? Excuse me.
Yeah. Huh.
And...
Bitch, look at my closet. Most of it is black.
Bitch, I'm wearing all black right now. Get into it.
Shit, I'm wearing black pants. I got a gray tank top on.
I'm the big titty goth girlfriend of your dreams.
So what are you wearing? I leaned in real close to the mic for that one.
You did. It was a crisp. And definitely don't want anyone to make fun of you being homeschooled at first. So no stereotypical long skirts and woolen jumpers. Also, jumpers is a term for sweater in Brit.
In Brit.
Yeah.
Tabby, I know you're listening to this and you want to shoot her in the face right now. I'm sorry.
Listen, I am 1/16 British.
So it's fine.
It's fine. Which you owned a lot of. I do not own any long skirts. I think I own like...
I don't own any skirts.
You finally settled on some jeans, a light gray t-shirt, and dark green jacket, as well as some black plimsolls. I don't know what that is. Brits, sound off in the comments.
Tabby, sound off. Tell us what that means.
Plimsolls. You weren't the type to wear makeup and didn't want to look like a clown, so your face was spared from the teenage torture. Besides, you didn't have any spots to cover up or anything. Bitch, bet. You are a teenager. You have at least 5 zits to horribly conceal with some concealer that will not work.
No.
Because it was $5 on Walgreens.
I never even used concealer. Like, deadass, I had to just try to cover my shit whenever I wore makeup. I just covered it with foundation.
Yeah, that's what I did. And now I don't leave my house without my brows, because I look way too Amish.
If the world saw you with brows and a laptop, I feel like Amish country just explodes. They have like a ticker in their head. Who did it?
Who used a computer? Thou shalt pay. Fun fact, many of them speak Dutch for some reason.
That is interesting.
Running down the stairs, you heard your mom sigh with relief. There you are. Let's go. She made a quick beeline for the door, keys in her hand jingling with every step as you followed hurriedly.
Hurriedly?
That's not a word.
It is a word. It's just hard to say, because I think I've seen it in, like, actual things, so I think it is a word, but...
Is it?
I think so. Tell us if hurriedly is a word.
Sound off
in the comments.
Brits.
It's not even a British word.
As you sped off in the car, clinging to the door handle for your life, your mum decided to speak up. I hope you're not mad at me for making you do this. You turned to her with wide eyes. Mad? Yes! For making you go to a fucking weird-ass school with weird-ass people in this weird-ass town. I wanted to keep you away from all of them until we finally moved. It's your retarded dad's folly.
Damn, they went there.
This mom is problematic.
Terrible.
Your mom didn't like people. Her dream was to live somewhere with hardly anyone, a farm in the country perhaps. Somewhere she wouldn't want to swear in every sentence.
Why? It's fucking fun. Get on our level, bitch. Swearing is fun.
I'm not mad, just slightly nervous. She glanced over at you. Don't be nervous. Compared to them, you're an angel, okay? You'll make tons of friends. Good friends, I hope. Don't go smoking fucking crack between every class. You giggled.
Okay, Klaus.
Probably make nerdy friends. You heard her chuckle. That's the spirit. All right, we're here. On those words, you looked out your side window. Oh dear, it was massive. That's what she said.
That's what she's gonna say later. Actually, no, it's not. Because you know for a fact Rodrick ain't got heat down there. You know.
We don't know for sure.
I'm not saying Devin in general, but if you're thinking of the character.
I don't want to see Rodrick's
No, I
penis.
don't. Jasper Jordan's yes, Rodrick's no.
And there were so many people.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
You turned to your mum with worried eyes. She sighed. Relax, kid. You'll do great. You could only nod as you hesitantly open the door and step out. Your name. Go to the principal's office or something. The sooner you find some sort of teacher, the better, alright? You nodded, shakily telling her bye, and loved her. She wasn't the type to say I love you, but she did in this case. Probably from pity.
That's a terrible mother.
Again, this mother is problematic.
She is. She probably smokes crack between every hour.
Yeah, between breaks.
Also, for British terms, I almost forgot Chloe, along with Tabs, sound off for the British terms when we ask.
After shutting the car door, you walked with worried eyes as she drove off, leaving you in the wild to fend for yourself. Fight! 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 Dancing bright. Fight!
Fight! Fucking fight!
Do it, bitch! Alright. Chanting brought you out of your thoughts and turned to look
like I said,
around.
We are both Jared, 19.
Trying to find the source. Your eyes landed on a large group of kids gathered in a circle. Your curiosity took over and you approached it, pushing through the crowd of people to see the so-called fight. Confusion and slight disappointment took over you, as it was a small, lanky, dark-haired boy and a somewhat chunky girl with her hair in two tight pigtails. Come on, Patty, let's talk about this. The boy stuttered out. You raised an eyebrow. He must be very weak.
We've been
No way, Gregory. You made me look like an idiot back there. Now you'll pay. I didn't mean to. Too bad. She threw a punch, only for it to be caught in a different hand. Your hand.
Oh,
you had fast reflexes. You couldn't help it. You were just so fast and so cool. You were like fucking Catwoman out there.
Why are you Henry?
Why? I'm always at a level of Henry.
That's her Henry Bowers voice, by the way. It sounds like Kevin from Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Dork. You had to defend yourself against, well, never mind. All you knew was suddenly you were the centre of attention. That's how she spelled center.
I believe you.
I don't think you should be fighting, especially on school grounds. Be the bigger person and just go, you said as confidently as you could. Mind your own business, Patty screamed. You swallowed hard. That's not happening. You could hear in the crowd. It made your skin crawl. Patty tried to throw another punch, but you caught that one just as easily. After one more, she seemed to give up. I'll get you, Gregory, when your bodyguard isn't around to protect you. After she left, the crowd seemed to quickly part, leaving you and Greg and one other boy alone. Greg, I thought you were going to die! One of the boys yelled. Why didn't you help me then, Rowley? Well, I didn't want to die too.
Oh, I mean, honestly, Greg, you fucking deserve it. You treat Rowley like shit.
Yeah, there's literally a theory that you were written as a sociopath.
It's a good video.
Anyway, you couldn't help but giggle slightly, glad that it was over, and looked around for a teacher, only to feel a hand on your shoulder. It was Greg. Thanks, he said simply. No problem. What's your name? Your name. He smiled. Hi, I'm Greg.
Greg and Greg.
Chapter 2. Here we go to the summary.
Let's go!
Chapter 2 is called Get Out of My Room. Okay, so it starts off by telling you that you're 1 year older than Greg and Rowley, so like...
You're like... 4...
15, 16.
Well, we don't know which movie this takes place in, so...
It definitely takes place during Rodrick Rules.
Does it? So they would be like 13, so you are 14 years old.
That's gross.
And Rodrick is 16. 17.
The story says that he's 17.
Yeah, that's right, he's 17. Because Dog Days is summer of that. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, he would be 17, and you're 14. So if it's already not creepy, it's gonna get way worse, guys. Please exit here. Exit right now. I'm sorry we forgot to tell you before she started, but it's before it got messed up. So just hearing that age difference right here, if you want to cut it, if you don't want to hear the rest of it, thank you for listening. We understand, because it's fucked. We appreciate you for even listening this far.
A yeet or be yeeted world.
Yeah, a yeet or be yeeted.
This story will yeet you.
You either yeet or be yeeted. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
In this world, it's either yeet or get yeeted.
You stay around to protect Greg and make good friends, basically. And then one day, you're invited to Greg's house after school. You're very excited because it's your first time going over to a friend's house. Nerd. But turns out Rowley can't make it. He gets picked up early. When you get to Greg's house, he warns you how crazy his family is, and you're like, LOL, bet. More family foreshadowing.
How many chapters are in this, by the way? I forgot.
10.
Okay.
His mom goes to greet him, but he rushes you upstairs because he's like, don't want family, weirdos. Okay. When you get to Greg's room, his journal is missing, and he freaks. Greg runs into Rodrick's room, and you follow, and Greg's all like, you stole my dream journal!
Linus stole my dream journal! Iconic!
Greg finds his journal under the bed amongst, quote, porno mags and dirty socks.
Ew!
Rodrick shouts from behind and startles you. It describes Rodrick as 17 years old. You save Greg from the clutches of his brother, Rodrick, chases you to Greg's room and traps you by, like, you know in Rodrick Rules when he stands in front of the door to trap Greg?
Yep.
Basically, you're there. And basically, this fan fiction is like if you were a part of the Rodrick Rules movie, but, like, the last 2 chapters get fucking weird.
Yeah. Also, I love that part of the movie where where he gets Rowley too, and he thinks he's such a smartass, and he's like, whatever you thought, I already thinked it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love our dumbass boy.
So he traps you and Greg, and suddenly there's a perspective change.
POV switch?
Yes. So we meet one of Rodrick's friends, Ben Siegel, who I thought I had heard the name Ben Siegel before, and I googled it, and fun fact, Ben Siegel was a real person, a mobster in the 1940s who went by the name Bugsy.
Oh my lord. Okay.
So,
fun facts,
Greg
kids.
brought a girl into your room. Ben says, yeah, is she hot? I guess.
She's 14!
Yeah, she's 14, you fucking creep. And Rodrick's other friend is like, let me hack into the mainframe to look her up.
Which neither of his friends are that smart. Chris is also a fucking idiot.
Also, you know you can just, like, go down, like, your Facebook and Instagram and Facebook stalk you, but he's like, I'm gonna hack into the mainframe.
Okay, Elliot Alderson.
Alright, chapter 3. This one is called I Have a Deal for You.
Ooh, shit.
So, you stay for dinner with the Heffleys. You get along with Mrs. Heffley, and then you go home. The next day, you're invited back to Greg and Rowley's. Rodrick picks the three of you up from school in the van, and you know that scene where he's like, get in, and Greg's like, why are you here? And he's like, Mom said she would pay Mom bucks if I picked you up.
Yeah. Iconic.
Yes. So he picks the three of you up from school. You're like, no thanks, I'm good. And he's like, you too, princess, I have something to ask you. So the car ride sucks. It's like that one where you're all thrown around.
And Rowley's ass is on your face.
That's literally how it's described. When you get out of the car, Rodrick grabs you and says, don't you remember? I have something to ask you. And you're like, what? And he's like, come with me and I'll tell you. So you go to his room and you're thrown onto the bed. Through
that deep sigh.
This is where it gets
gross
weird for the very first time. Through the hacking of the mainframe, Rodrick has found out about your crazy.
You crazy.
You crazy.
You crazy, baby. You crazy.
Your crazy twin brother, who apparently killed people, had a sexual obsession with you and is now in an asylum.
Because
I should mention, this character has a, quote, dark backstory for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to make her a little more edgy.
Trauma happened, and you're using that to let him know that so he can put trauma on top of it? Like,
yeah, which makes him
even more shitty.
More creepy. So after he tells you this, there is an exchange that rivals the "what do you want" scene from The Notebook. Why did I write that?
I don't know. Why did you write that?
She says, what do you want? And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, what do you want? What's in the box?
What's in the box? That is not a box.
So then Rodrick proposes that you be his slave, and you agree.
Because Devin is pretty.
I wrote a note on the side, but I can't read it.
Oh, did you actually, take down paper notes for this?
Yeah.
This is the first time I actually didn't, and I just did it on my phone.
No, I didn't on paper, which I'm learning now is a bad idea. Alright, moving on. Page turn. Chapter 4. This one is called Learning to Obey. This is when it starts getting nasty, so cover your
It's getting gross in here.
Put on all your clothes.
So keep on all your clothes.
Okay, chapter 4, Learning to Obey. So, being his slave basically starts off with going to his house every day after school and doing his chores for him. It's okay at first, until one day, Rodrick gives you a maid outfit to wear, and you're all like, no! And he's like, call me master. And you're like, no! So then he bends you over the bed, pulls down your jeans, quote, trousers, and panties, and speaks you bare ass 8 times until you call him master. And also this, blackmail part, if it was, maybe silly blackmail, I saw a weird picture of you online and I'll expose it to everyone, and it's, her with chopsticks up her nose or something.
Yeah, or her with, a face mask on and, chopsticks in her hair.
No, her sibling who was charged with manslaughter and with several accounts of murder and
also
is now in an insane
sexually assaulted her.
You psycho.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh my god, I cracked the case. Her sibling was Patrick.
Oh my god.
We've cracked it.
So then you change into the maid outfit and he's like, LOL cool, then goes back to reading his porn. Then, in front of you, he starts jerking it.
I was just gonna say, wait, isn't this the part where he starts jacking off?
Yeah. In his jeans, Which, listen, it's hard enough for me with a flat surface to masturbate in jeans.
Yeah.
Like, you don't masturbate in your jeans.
No,
you take them off.
You take them off.
Masturbate in your underwear, maybe.
Yeah, but not your jeans.
Your jeans? Who the fuck has jeans? Doesn't he wear skinny jeans in the movie?
Does! And they cling! How the fuck is he gonna get his hand down there? He don't got tiny little hands.
Like basketball shorts, I could believe it a little more.
Yeah, but it's not. It's his tight-ass, Hot Topic skinny jeans.
Ugh, God, those things are uncomfortable as fuck.
I got a pair and they weren't that bad. They're actually pretty comfy. I'm pretty sure, like, now they don't make them as tight as they used to be back in, like, the extra, like, guy-wearing girl pants days.
In 12, yeah.
Yeah.
And, so he starts jerking it, and then he's like, he tells you to lift your skirt and drop the panties. Disclaimer does talk about how it turns you on, but it's still
not okay. Bitch, you don't get a say in this. You know why? 'Cause you're 14.
Yeah. I mean, he is also underage, but it still makes it
gross.
But
he's basically almost an adult.
So, he just completely jizzed in his pants.
I snorted!
Then he just dismisses you when you go home.
She's one of the only people who can get me to snort laugh.
It is a matter of pride. Alright. Are you ready for chapter 5?
Dun 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 dun.
So Greg's upset you're spending more time with Rodrick now instead of him, so he confronts Rodrick about it, and he's like, what have you done with your name? And he's like, she's mine now, dork.
Pause. Which would at least make sense, because she's a year older, so at least they're, like, close in age, so it'd be fine for them to be a thing.
Like, not, like, a sexual thing.
No, but like a relationship, like a cute little middle school relationship or whatever.
Like, we held hands once.
We held hands at lunchtime, and then he broke up with me 20 minutes later.
But then we got back like 10 minutes later.
Yeah, so it was fine.
Okay. We hugged goodbye,
and he was my first kiss, and it was at the movies.
It was at the mall because everyone went on their first dates at the mall in middle school.
Bitch, I wouldn't know. You just screeched.
I did.
Yeah, disclaimer. Anyways. I'm a lonely bitch.
You'll find your girl. Or not your...
Unless it's Raven Reyes, I don't want me a girl.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset if I had myself a girl.
But you into the girls.
I'm into girls, but I have myself a man's right now.
Yeah. Right
Long-term
now.
Man's. Huh?
Right now. Currently and possibly forever.
Yeah. Anyways.
Dude, we should podcast live drunk from your wedding. He can be our special guest.
He can be our special guest. Hi guys, this is my new husband. We're gonna read you some bad fan fiction now.
He picked it out all by himself.
He picked it out. No, he'd probably pick up fucking video game shit that I wouldn't know what the fuck is happening.
I mean, if it was a video game thing, I would, if I knew the game, I'd be like, sure. But if I didn't, I'd be like, okay, sure. You have to explain to us what's going on.
So, he's like, what have you done with your name? And Rodrick's like, she's mine now, dork. And Greg's like, you villain, she's a person, not a thing.
True.
Even if she was, she'd be mine. So, like,
you contradicted yourself there, Greggy boy. You were on the right track, and then you took several seats and steps back.
Yeah. And then Rodrick's like, bet! So...
Bet!
I say bet about like 4 times.
That's the phrase. Yeah, mine is, did you mean Patrick? And yours is bet.
Yeah.
Those are our phrases this episode that I'm gonna get so sick of hearing.
Yep.
Wish me luck, guys.
So you go to school, and you go to tell Greg about all the gross crap that's been happening between you and Rodrick. And you find Greg, who now has penises written all over his face in permanent marker.
I mean, that's something Rodrick would do.
It is. But
if it wasn't a kid's movie.
Do you not know about rubbing alcohol? That takes that shit off so quick.
Unless he just didn't know it was on there.
Oh, maybe. So when you get to their house afternoon, you're prepared to beat a bitch. So you're like, you fuck with my friends, you fuck with me. And as revenge, you take his porno mags, show them to his mom, so she then goes and embarrasses him in front of his friends.
So essentially what happened in the first movie.
Basically, yeah.
With the Tootsie Rolls and the biker chicks.
Which wasn't a porno mag, it was, a bike magazine with just a hot girl on it.
Yeah, which, like, okay, she might have been scantily clad, but at least she wasn't naked. I mean, kids' movie, but still.
Yeah, the contents of that magazine would not have been, like, sexy women after that point. It would have been, like, how to fix your
engine.
motorcycle. Yeah.
How to rev up.
Rev up. So, next day after school, Rodrick shows up in the van, tells Greg he's not there for him, but for you.
Ugh.
When you don't comply, Rodrick then threatens to hurt Greg, because he's a psycho abusive cunt. You get in the van.
That was your first mistake.
Yep.
I'd be like, bye, Greg. Nice knowing you.
I'd be like, yeet,
I'd be like, yeet, Rowley deserves better.
Yeah. Chapter 6, Consequences for Your Actions. So, Rodrick yet again drags you from the van to his room and throws you on the bed for the second time. Then he explains that his house is disgusting and you got rid of the, quote, one thing that got him off, unquote. So now you have to pay.
Ugh.
He makes you strip naked so he can take dirty pictures of you to replace his porn mags.
Which he could go to jail for this.
Yes.
On multiple accounts.
Yes. You do this, and there's a note that says, it writes hints that you enjoy this, but, well, still.
Yeah.
Because he's angry, and then you go home.
Which, let me just say to all of that, electric, and I cannot stress this enough.
Boogie woogie.
Chair.
No, he wouldn't. He get, like...
No, I know, but I was quoting have you seen the Twitter meme that's like electric chair?
Yeah.
I was quoting that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you like my electric boogie woogie?
Yes, it was cute. You are my dad. You're my dad.
You're my dad.
Boogie, woogie, woogie.
Chapter 7 is called A New Boy.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no, there's a new boy in town. Da-na-na-na-na.
Coming into the scene.
Town.
You're in town. And she's just 17. We're not doing our A+ singing for this. Like, it doesn't deserve A+. Doesn't deserve A+ acting, so why are we going to give it A+ singing, you know?
Listen, it's midnight. Why would I...
It's literally 12:04 in the morning, and we started Skyping at like 9, and then after audio tests, it was like 10, and then we just blathered on for 30 minutes before we started recording before this, so... Now is the time where we gonna get crazy.
Okay.
It's about to be 2 a.m. hours at 12.
New boy in town. He's cool. He's hot. He's got blonde flowing hair, green eyes, and a nice butt. And
a nice butt.
And a nice butt. His name is Ryan, and he totally asked you out after school. It's like a date. So you hang out after school instead of going over to Rodrick's because, quote, Rodrick doesn't rule your life.
I mean...
You know the author was proud of that.
Oh, totally. She's like, this is badass. She's an independent woman. Which she's really not, because
she's also referencing the title of the second movie.
Exactly. Because she's 14, so she's not an independent woman. She's still a girl, a little girl. But also, I remember the first time we read this, we just pictured Ryan as Ryan from High School Musical.
We did.
It was great. Just to add a little more lightness to this situation that's about to get very dark. I mean, it already has gotten dark, but it's gonna get worse, guys.
So, on the date, you find a few more things about Ryan. Quote, he moved there because his parents are also divorced, and he lives with his dad. Coincidence?
We thought not.
And, quote, he's not a womanizer like you thought he was.
Watch it just actually have been a coincidence, because they, like, didn't fully finish this story.
They didn't.
So it actually is a coincidence, and he's just not her crazy brother, like we thought he was.
We thought originally that it was going to be the crazy...
You keep saying crazy!
Crazy!
I'm crazy for you, baby.
I have an accent and I don't even know it.
You're precious.
I know where he tells you he likes you and you kiss.
Yeah. We thought it was going to be some Alison Luther shit up in here.
God, I don't want to... Which is stupid because, like, why wouldn't you recognize your crazy twin brother?
True, if he looks like you. But then again, they never actually gave a description of her. So it's like...
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway.
What if... It's a little weird if you're, like, African-American. And
yeah, and they're like, my crazy twin brother is white, and he has green eyes, and he has blonde hair.
It makes sense. White people be fucked.
White people be. I saw this tweet, and it was like, you know, there's, like, regular white people, and then there's the ones that even white people hate, and they're white people. I was like, that's fucking true.
Yes. Then out of nowhere, Rodrick shows up like, what the fuck? And Rodrick tells his friend Ben Siegel, mobster extraordinaire,
Bugsy,
to take you to the van while he threatens Ryan, and Ryan being our knight in shiny tin foil.
Shiny tin foil?
Our hero.
Shining aluminum foil.
This shining aluminum foil. Alright, chapter 8. You belong to me. You belong to me.
Ew.
And a blue highway.
Oh.
Step you take. Okay, there's too much singing.
I mean, it's appropriate for this story, though.
It is. Back to the secret lair. Rodrick's room.
The secret lair.
You're thrown under the bed for the 3rd time. But this time, it's by your hair. And when you're like, ow, that hurts, he lets you go and he looks concerned. Perhaps an attempt at making him less crazy? Question mark.
Which doesn't really work, because it's still gross. And it's not like he actually gives a shit.
Yeah. And then he's like, were you like that guy anyways? And you're like, I don't know.
Because he's my brother and I drank some yee juice this morning. Yeah. I just blew out everyone's ears, I'm sorry.
And then he leans over and he does that, quote, you belong to me thing, which...
It's so creepy.
And then I wrote underneath, oof, hot?
Question mark? It's like it's not hot, but if it was in any other situation, it's still creepy, but it's still hot in any other situation, but in here, it's like red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag.
Yeah. Like, even if my boyfriend said that to me, I'd be like, bet, bitch.
Bet.
Unless it was like a role-playing thing, which in that case, it's like, you know, it was...
We don't even know what you and your boyfriend do in your spare time on this podcast.
I know, I'm just...
The situation, I gotcha.
I agree with you that in context, it would be fine. However, it's weird out of.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, was that your first kiss? And you're like, yeah, why? And then he grabs you and holds and stares deeply into your eyes.
Your bluish, brownish, greenish color eyes.
Yes. And I don't know why, but this just stuck with me because the author describes his brows as thick. And I was like, me too, bitch.
The only thing thick about that boy is his lips. Devin has great lips, guys. We've been
be very plump. It's nice.
Yeah.
Then he kisses you. Then he tells you to go home. Then come back. Again, quote, plot twist. Alright. Chapter 9.
It's almost at the terrible content. That wasn't intentional, and then I realized I kept doing it, so I was like, I'll just make the reference.
Chapter 9. Uncomfortably close and red rope.
So I gagged.
Saturday at 3:30 p.m. You roll out of bed and make your way to the Heffley house. Rodrick opens the door and invites you in. When you ask why he wanted you there, he tells you to clean his room. Conveniently, no one is home. When you get to his room, it's surprisingly clean. You know what else is surprising? The red rope on his bed. So, when you tell him no, he threatens to call the cops about your mom, who is suddenly a drug addict.
Which makes sense.
He ties your wrists, ties your elbows, and cuts your skirt off. Basically, he hog ties you naked.
And you don't want it.
And you don't. This is, like, it implies that you're like, oh no, what are you, basically the meme of what are you doing, step bro, but like.
Yeah. Oh no, what are you doing?
So, the last chapter is called...
The worst. Are you guys ready for this? Because it's about to get disgusting.
Yes. Alright. And it starts off with the author saying, warning, this chapter is full of kinky, borderline gross, and extreme BDSM.
Only borderline.
Don't try the dangerous parts of this at home, and this is just a story. Bitch, no one...
Which no one would want to. When you guys hear the two's gonna be like, oh yeah, shit, I have to try that at home, that's hot. Like,
yeah.
You're not gonna think that. It's disgusting.
Also, she says, since I've given you a warning, you can't complain, so ha!
We can complain, because you said borderline disgusting, and it was very disgusting.
Also,
so ha!
People
ha to you.
Have the right to comment about how I need to NSFW
when she does.
We all have a right to complain about something, even that person that we spilled tea about. They had the right to do it. Fuck them, but they had the right.
Theoretically, yeah, they had the right. Even though you did everything correctly.
Standing there.
The loophole.
Standing there, you simply look up at him. An embarrassed glare full of fear and uncertainty. Rodrick towered over you. watching you helplessly tug at your restraints. This is so much better than I imagined it to be.
Oh, you got so close to the mic. I'm sorry. I felt that in the back of my brain. Oh my god.
He hummed into your ear as he leaned close.
Yeah, don't do that.
Out of the corner of his eye, he spied his school science project his dad had done for him. A simple electric box attached to 2 clamps on wires. Clamp each side of a battery, turn on the power to max, and the battery explodes. Something his mom would have banned if she knew. But we all know Rodrick's dad likes to be, quote, cool.
No, he doesn't.
Picking up each crocodile clip, he slowly walked over, eyes wide. You back away. Don't you dare! Stay away!
Pause. This is the part where we were starting to yeet. It was right here. We're like, no, he's not gonna.
It gets worse.
It always gets worse.
It always gets worse.
It never gets better. It always gets worse in this story.
Holding both in one hand and grabbing one of the knots holding you hostage in the other, he held you still as the first clamp was attached to your left nipple. Nipple. Say it with me.
Nipple.
You gave a whimpered whine as you felt it snap down on your sensitive bud sharply. Don't describe your nipples as buds.
No.
They're not buds. They're not your friends.
Say fucking nipples, dude.
The same treatment was given to your right nipple, receiving the same noise. Roger casually strolled over to the electric device and turned it on its lowest setting. You gave a short cry of surprise as a sharp pain shot through your breasts. Also, listen, if someone ever did this to me, I'd be like, I'm calling the cops.
Same. I mean, I would have called the cops a long-ass time ago.
Yeah.
But if I had not, this would be the breaking point. If I had not consented to this, which I would not, but like if you consent, like, that's fine. If you want to do that, that's great. That's cool.
Exactly.
But when you're getting this done to you involuntarily, ugh.
And, like, I know that, like, the 50 Shades of Grey films came out, a lot of the, like, the BDSM community was really pissed because there's, like, a very strong level of communication and consent that they did not feature, that this also does not feature. I know that, like, it's like porn where they're trying to give a fantasy.
But, like,
that's kind of the whole point of fan fiction. There's a fantasy to it. But there isn't enough of confirmation
that she's into it.
That we're okay with this.
And again, even if there was, one more time, say it with me, folks. She's 14.
Like, I had my first slightly sexual experiences at 14, but, like, I look back and I should not have.
Well, you would never have done that.
No,
at 14 with a 17-year-old boy.
It wasn't unbearable. It felt like tiny needles were pricking your nipples. That sounds uncomfortable.
Yeah, that sounds very uncomfortable, bitch. I don't want acupuncture in the titty.
That combined with the tight pinching of the clamps had on each bud. Dare you say it was somewhat pleasurable? No way, you're not into stuff like this, are you? You fucking freak?
You fucking freak. You choose now to discover your kinks?
Yeah.
No kink shaming, but we're gonna kink shame her.
No kink shaming, but kink shaming.
But kink shaming.
I'm kidding. Rodrick watched your vulnerable form in amusement. Your legs trembled and your torso shook side to side, trying to somehow get rid of the tight pinch of the clamps. However, the more you moved, the more your nipples were tugged at, and the more you liked it. Rodrick, you whined, take them off. Call me master, was his only reply. No way, you answered, almost offended. He chuckled at your response and stepped away, backing closer to the electric box. No, please! Your voice was panicked. Ignoring your begging, he turned up by 1. But 1 was all you needed.
1 is the loneliest number. Like, can we pause for a minute? Yes. So, as if, like, this isn't disgusting enough, and, like, just wrong enough, and Rodrick, like, even if we actually, like, it wasn't a kid's movie, and we actually got to see him, like, doing actual teenage boy things, he wouldn't do this. And you know why? No matter how, like, dom, daddy, everything otherwise you guys want Rodrick, me and her cracked this code last year and had like a 30-minute conversation about it. He's a sub little bitch. That's another reason it's bothering me, because he would never be like, call me master. He would never.
No. Also, what normal teenager, like, just, like, when I was a teenager, the only thing I wanted to do was make out, and, like, maybe, like, dry hump. Like, that was all I needed.
I mean, realistically, not in fan fiction realm, obviously.
No.
Yeah, I got you.
Realistically, like, that's all I needed.
Yeah.
I know it's different from teen boys, but
Yeah,
still.
but still.
That's
No
all
teen
you
boy would be
usually
doing
get.
this unless they're Patrick Hockstetter.
Unless they're... Yeet!
I'm just gonna keep saying it. He gonna keep coming up. He gonna keep getting called up.
Alright, can I continue this
Yes.
mess?
I just had to bring that up.
Your mouth fell open and you screamed. Your nipples felt like they were on fire.
I made a really dumb face. That's why she's laughing.
Well, shit. You heard Rodrick's deep voice. What a slut you are. Don't call me that. That's not what I want to hear.
Not from your mouth.
He continued. You looked down to see him kneeling before you, staring at your privates. Don't call it private.
You've already come this far. Why? Just say pussy. Even say vagina. But don't say your privates.
Taking a finger, he traced the tip from your asshole to your clit, lifting it to show you.
What? Does that even make sense?
Soaking wet.
Oh no, I got what you mean. He showed his finger. The way they worded that was weird. It's like it's like he lifted.
Look at your own clit.
Yeah, look at your own clit. I'm gonna lift up your clit so you can see.
Yeah, like mine's not big enough for you to do that.
Ew.
He stated simply. You couldn't even speak. The lingering feeling of his finger touching there, it was ecstasy. You wanted to ask him to touch you again, but no, you weren't that weak. You were snapped out from your thoughts by the sound of Rodrick rooting through his drawers. What are you looking for? You choked. That was when he brought out a hand massager and some duct tape. You knew exactly where this was going, and without thinking, you yelled, "No, fuck off!"
Are we even halfway through this? Because I forgot. I blocked a lot of it out, except for the ending thing where he does the thing with the other things in the place.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay. I just couldn't remember.
I'm just trying to drag this out and make it as gross as possible.
And make it as uncomfortable as possible. Literally, I am in that scene right now where they tape your eyelids open and force you to watch things. I made that face at her.
Orange.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've had it in a bunch of other stuff too, but
They have.
it's just like a cliche thing to do, but that is what this is. You're taping my ears wide open and taping my eyes wide open, even though I can't see her because her camera's busted, so we can't see her beautiful face. Yeah, so I'm just looking at her holding my eyelids open to get through this, because that's what it feels like.
Okay. I brought your language with me, bitch, Rodrick growled.
You're the bitch.
Fighting him would only get you in a worse position. And you were right. Before doing what he was planning with the duct tape and hand massager, he picked up a couple leftover pieces from the rope off the floor next to you. You good, bro?
No, I just saw how long we were recording.
Bro, you good? Oh!
I'll tell you how long it's been in a minute. 2:08.
Okay, I'll try and wrap this up.
No, it's fine, because I still have to cut out, like, the beginning conversation before we started doing that, but...
Reaching behind you, he knotted new rope with the old, currently wrapping tightly around your arms. What are you doing? You asked nervously. Making sure you can't hide or move away, Roger replied as he reached up, tying the rope to a hook on the ceiling, meant for a toy airplane or some shit. Who the fuck has time to learn how to tie this much rope? Specifically
Rodrick.
Yeah, who the fuck? What teenager again?
What teenage boy?
Trying to tug at it, eyes widening slightly in fear as you realized how utterly trapped you are now. As you tugged your nipples continued to ache from the clamps and buzzed with electricity. The duct tape was then picked back up, and he began tearing off long strips and sticking the tops to his bed frame, ready for use. After tearing off 6, he picked up the hand massager. The handle and main part resembled a showerhead shape, the tip having 6 long plastic fingers like sticks attached. I don't know why we're going into such detail about a hand massager.
Exactly. Like, out of everything you could put detail into, you pick a fucking hand massager? Like, not that we want you to go in more detail about shit, but still.
He turned it on, placing it against your leg so the long finger tickled your pussy. Pussy.
That pee was popped. And the pee that was popped was a pussy. Alliteration, guys.
The rope down there, forcefully holding your outer lips open, every part of you vulnerable. Don't do that. Don't.
Hey, stop it. Get some help.
Get some help.
That's the theme of this,
Show.
Yeah. Speaking of which, so She was on her phone, and now I'm on my phone because I need to block this out. But Netflix just posted, which Klaus are you today? Currently, right now, I'm number 9.
Number 9?
I'm like a mix of 3 and 9. Both of them, he looks like he's in immense pain.
Me. Alright. So, Rodrick used 2 pieces of tape strapped across your leg to hold it in place. You clenched your teeth. You could feel your pussy dripping into the device as it vibrated you, teasing me.
Which, listen, if it's as bad as they say it is, would that not malfunction the damn device?
Yeah.
Well,
if you left it on long enough, it would kill the battery. The roll of duct tape was taken up once again, and you wrapped a large piece around your legs, ripping off the end with its teeth. The tape held your thighs tightly together, so the hand massager was unable to move at all. You gave a small cry of helplessness, but he wasn't done. Taking the last 4 pieces he attached to your ass, pulling your cheeks wide, and using 2 pieces on each cheek to hold them far apart.
This is the worst part.
Was on complete display. No, don't look, you cried. Oh, I'm going to do a lot more than look, he replied, kneeling down behind you as he placed each of his thumbs either side of your asshole, pressing them into the small ring of muscle. Hard.
I'm gagging. She's laughing at my facial expressions. One day, when we're together, we're gonna actually have a show on camera and you can just see all of my faces.
He gave a loud cry of panic as his thumbs began to enter you. Listen, if you don't have lube and you're doing ass stuff, you're doing it wrong. Is he not already?
Exactly.
Sorry, she just showed me.
It said, imagine Patrick as a yandere. And I was like, is he not?
Yeah. So, his fingers began to enter your asshole, no matter how hard you clenched. That's gross.
Really, though, it is. She's gonna be bleeding.
No, please. He's dirty inside. Sobbed, feeling so completely humiliated yet terrified. This is where you thought it could get better. It's gonna get worse.
Way worse.
I guess I'll have to clean you then. Rodrick sighed casually.
This is why I said
a normal Saturday
that this is
night.
the worst part.
Standing up only to reach down next to his bed where a pack of water bottles lay. Wait, what? You whispered, tugging weakly onto the rope, holding you in place via the ceiling. Rodrick bent at the waist, linking it up and pushing the tip of the water bottle against your asshole. Don't do this. This is not a thing.
No.
It's not safe. You're gonna get shit all over your bed, dude.
Listen, when he has shit bed, it's gonna be his own fucking fault. When she explosively diarrheas on his bed, it's his fault.
It doesn't say that, but you cried for him to stop, but he ignored you, forcing on the matter at hand. The tip entered past the tight ring of muscle, and you felt cold water filled your inside as Rodrick squeezed it down on the plastic. Again, not a thing.
And, very dangerous.
Very dangerous! There are specific things that you do over toilets.
That's amazing. There's this post, just some lightness in this terrible situation. I just reblogged this post on Tumblr, and it's going through, the 5 stages of grief, but as different, rip-off forms of I can't believe it's not butter. My favorite is anger. It's like, what? Not butter?
What? Oh, it's perfection. Alright, we only have 3 more paragraphs left. Are you ready?
Bear with us, y'all, if you made it this far.
If you made it this far, you get a gold
stick it out
and a cookie.
Yeah. Just tell us what cookie you want, and some cuddles.
Yeah.
Pick which one of us you want to give you cuddles.
Gave a loud sob as the bottle was removed from your asshole, only to whimper and try to pull away as another full bottle pressed against the same place. How many bottles of water can you fit?
He said he had a
ass?
full pack. So I imagine it's 12 regular sized. I assume it's regular because they didn't say mini water bottles. That's what I was wondering too. Also, you deeply sobbed. Bitch, that's me reading this. Listening to this. Well, I did read it. We went back and forth in this chapter when we were reading it to each other, but
yes.
Ugh, it's me hearing this again.
Keeping you hostage as the duct tape pulling your ass cheeks apart prevented any sort of protection. More water entered you as the bottle left you. You found yourself clenching, trying so hard to keep it in, so not to receive any further humiliation. You felt so full and dirty. Your pussy continued to drool on the hand massager as it brushed and teased your lips and hole.
Oh my god.
Don't describe my pussy as lips and hole, please.
No, please do not.
Please let me go to the bathroom. Rodrick lifted himself up and stood in front of you, a victorious look on his face. I knew you had it in you. He laughed, no pun intended.
Oh. My God.
And we're done!
Thank God. And just to shed some light on this garbage, I just passed this post on Tumblr that says, Diego, hey Eudora, wanna go out with me? Eudora, I said no 5 times, get a clue. Diego, holding the game, clue. Hey Eudora, God damn it! I'm trying to make this less god-awful for you guys and bringing some fun into it.
So this story that I have just read to you has over 29,000 views and has 522 likes.
We're not one of those.
So if you found that hot, chime off in the comments.
If you found that hot, please get help.
What was your... No, you're fine, but it is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, the end.
The end. All right. So, with that out of the way, this long episode, which is going to be so fun to edit, and even more fun to upload. Fun fact, that upload process, I almost wanted to cry because we just kept facing complications. Like, first it wasn't a verification, and then it took forever, and then it took forever again. The episode took me 5 hours to upload because of my laptop being terrible, so I can only imagine how long this one will take. But let's move on to something that isn't vomit-inducing, and if you made it all the way through that and you didn't click out,
Love you.
you a real one.
You a real bitch. We love you. It was gross. You don't have to tell us.
No, because we know we gave you a warning.
I read it.
Yeah. She saw it and she thought it was going to be funny. And it started out funny, and then we got to the first part where he, like, puts her on the bed and we're like, oh, no, this isn't going to be funny. This is going to be disturbing. All right. So, with that out of the way, do you want to reveal what episode 2 is going to be?
What episode 2 is going to be?
What is episode 2 going to be? Should we drum roll?
You thought my fanfic today was creepy.
You ain't seen
Drum roll?
nothing yet.
What?
That wasn't even a good drum roll like last time. But you know what?
Okay.
The theme for next week doesn't have to do with drums like Rodrick did, so we don't have to make it a good drum roll.
No.
So, next week's episode is
1, 2, 3.
The Bowers Gang! Our dumpster boys. Honestly, probably both going to be Patrick Fix, because he gets the most written about him aside from Henry, but we'll see.
I don't know. Henry, I've seen some pretty bad Henry ones.
If you want to, actually no, I want you to bring in a Henry Fix so you can do your Henry voice. I dare you to do the whole podcast in your Henry voice next week.
No, that's...
I cannot do that to her. She would literally be mute for like 2 months. No, but she will do it for the story. Because anytime we read a Bauer story, she always does the Henry voice, so.
I'll do it for the Vine.
Do it for the Vine. I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the Vine. I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the Vine.
Okay.
So, yeah, our garbagey dumpster boys are next week.
Tune in next week
for
more
Patrick being
shit.
creepy.
And Henry being abusive.
And Henry being a dick. But then it's somehow being okay with us because
He's
Nick,
cute.
He's cute. By the way, let this be the official claimer for those of you who don't know. I'm gonna fight Nick Hamilton.
Yeah, she, since she saw the movie, she was like, I'm gonna fight
I wanna
Nick.
kick his
And I'm
fucking
like,
ass.
Why?
I'm like, cause he looks like a bitch.
They make him look like a weasel.
I didn't say a weasel. I never called Nick a weasel.
Listen, Owen is a platypus.
Nick is a weasel. What are Logan and Jake then?
Logan is a ferret.
Logan is a ferret, and Jake
And-
is a puppy.
Jake is a, one of those puppies that looks like a teddy bear.
Like a little toy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a little toy dog.
And then it
Yeah.
grows up, and it's, like, way too big and fluffy, and you're like, what the fuck
He is.
this?
He's just fluffy. Jake is fluffy. We stand Jake Sim in this house. We don't stand Nick Hamilton in this house. No, we do. We stand him, but we stand him in a
stand
different
him.
way.
I
We
do,
don't stand
however,
him
find
in the
his
way.
shirtless pictures annoying.
Oh, true. So
You have
We
way
get it.
too many abs.
We get it.
Why is your torso so long?
that's her main problem with not finding him attractive, aside from the fact she likes tall, skinny guys. It's because he has so much torso.
Torso is just long.
He's a long boy. in the wrong way.
The wrong area.
Just the wrong area.
I like me some legs, you know?
Legs. We're not getting into that. So, yeah. That's what we're doing next week. Come back. I apologize for this. And we're just going to do some final plugs. And guess what? The channel now has official social medias because we made them. We made it. It's official. So we have Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. Do you want me to plug them or do you want to plug them?
I'll plug. So I made the Instagram account. Ooh, this has been the episode of belching.
Should have been next week. Damn it!
God damn it! I'll drink a shit ton of soda next week.
Okay.
We have 9 followers on our profile is called FanFucked20.
Because someone took FanFucked.
Because someone took the original FanFucked, motherfucker.
Motherfucker.
So go and we'll update you when
we post this episode.
When we post an episode, my guy.
And I might tweet occasional things throughout the editing process. I'm not sure yet, just because it takes so long. And I know this episode will probably take me, like, way too... I'm just going to try to sit and blast it out in, like, 2 days, but we'll see. We'll see how long my attention span holds for that. But probably not very long. And then, so the Twitter is also FanFucked20. I wanted to make it the same as the Tumblr, but the name was too long. So the Tumblr is FanFucked Podcast. Because again, on all these social medias, people are taking the name FanFucked. And it's our name. We need to stop.
It's our...
Gonna fucking
we came up with it.
We did. Anyway, so go follow us on those. And they will all be linked below, along with all the other social medias that were linked below last week for both of us. And then just give a quick plug to our Tumblrs really quick. So go.
At a-pervy-nerd, my guy.
And I am Trick Com, spelled K-O-M, Bowers, like our dumpster boys next week, Crew, K-R-U, and that is it, my dude.
That's
so.
Medici.
Oh my god. She's not explaining that. You just get left on a cliffhanger with that one. So, yeah, thank you guys for listening. Until next time, whenever this goes up. Yeah. That about it? You got anything else to say?
Anything else to say?
You?
Don't die.
Don't read the fanfic she read.
Just stay safe out there. Don't put water bottles up your asshole.
She just broke me. And, yeah, I think that's about it. So, bye, guys!